Thank goodness we live in the age of the internet, eh? Without it, we wouldn't be told how we shouldn't care about things like someone's race, sexuality or gender, whilst at the same time being constantly told the importance of someone's race, sexuality and gender. And I find it quite funny, because my adult brain didn't grow in this environment of contradictions, but is rather being subjected to it. However, what effect could it have on someone who's been told these things their entire life? Well, we only have to wait and see, as Queer Kid Stuff delivers this particular brand of mindfuckery on the regular, but this time with the level of sound editing you would normally expect from some kind of sea creature.
Hey there, I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Teddy.
Welcome
to
to
Queer Kid Stuff.
Today, we're talking about race.
Do you remember when this show was all about sexuality? When Lindsay thought she was educating kids on how to be tolerant, but was actually mentally scarring them? I mean, we all knew it, but now we have proof. This show is all about the social justice.
Queer Kid Stuff. You are enough here at Queer Kid Stuff. Welcome to another episode in our series on privilege. Today, we're talking about something called race.
And by that, you mean you'll be describing a tiered system based on who feels oppressed the most by those with differing skin colour, and therefore their experiences and outlooks should be considered more valuable than those deemed below them, while not realising you've just created a system of oppression. It's not even ironic, it's just sad.
You ready, Teddy?
Ready, set, go!
Oh, no, Teddy, not that kind of race.
Well, you aren't talking about the human race as a whole either, are you? You're gonna divide everyone up into groups according to the colour of their skin, but the dangerous part is you think you're doing the right thing.
Huh?
I'm going to explain everything, Teddy, but I'm gonna need a little help on this one.
Lindsay, I've been saying you need help for 20 fucking videos now. Seriously, this is the 20th video on Queer Kid Stuff. Yay!
Why?
Well, to be completely honest with you, Teddy, I have a lot of privilege when it comes to race.
No, you fucking don't. According to your system, you're near the bottom, above straight white women and straight white men.
Why?
Because of my skin color. I'm white.
I think you look more peach.
Sure, Teddy.
That's just an illusion, Teddy. It's so you think blood is actually flowing through her veins. Unless you meant it as in she has a heart of stone, in which case, fair play. Nicely done.
But most people call my skin color white.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, not everything always makes perfect sense.
That is the first bit of sound advice I've ever heard you say, Lindsay. Don't ruin it now. Just stop talking.
I think it's time you met my friend Kira. She's going to help us figure all of this out about race.
Kira's gonna be black, isn't she? White people aren't allowed to talk about it, you see. We have to call in a black person because they were born with the knowledge on race and we're just learning. It's like picking a race in the Elder Scrolls games. You got Argonians who can breathe underwater, Khajiit who can see in the dark, and black people are experts on race.
Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Teddy.
Hi, Kira.
Hi, Kira.
That was a bit of a late response, wasn't it? A bit hesitant, you might say. Like your first reaction was to call the police. I'm learning a lot about you, Lindsay.
Thanks for helping me out with this one, Kira.
Oh, absolutely.
Kira,
What's up, Teddy?
can I ask you two really important questions?
No, oh, for fuck's sake, no. Why is the every time, Teddy? Every damn time. Why do you care so much? For fuck's sake.
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, just get it over with, will you?
Okay. What are your pronouns and how do you identify?
I use she, her, and I identify as a queer woman.
Why is that important, though? Like it's information we needed to know. I can only think of one situation where your sexuality is relevant, Kira, and that is when you're about to bone. Are you about to bone, Kira?
Awesome.
So, Kira, today I wanted to talk about race with Teddy.
But why, Lindsay? Judging from his reaction at the beginning of the video, he doesn't know about race and privilege. So, I mean, if kids don't know about this socially constructed thing, how about we don't teach it to them, eh? The problem would be solved, wouldn't it?
Great. Well, let's get into it. It is a very important idea for you to understand, Teddy.
I want to learn.
Don't do it, Teddy! Nothing good comes from this. One day you sat there playing with your Lego and then boom, you're subconsciously racist. But that's Queer Kid Stuff, destroying childhoods one social issue at a time.
Okay, well, first off, do you understand why Lindsay asked me to help her out with this conversation?
Oh, Oh, come on, it's not a tough question. It's because you're black, Kira. That's the only reason why, and apparently that's fine.
Lindsay told me it's because she's white and has privilege.
That's right. Lindsay and I are different races.
Certainly, Kira, as you appear to be perfectly human, whereas we all know Lindsay is only human on the top half. She's like a centaur, but instead of a horse, it's a goat.
Race has to do with a lot of different things, but one way you can sometimes tell what race someone is by their skin color.
That's kinda where it starts and ends, actually. I mean, the Asians get those eyes, and the sizes of foreheads vary in different places, especially charity adverts for starving Ethiopians. I don't know why they pick the ones with the biggest heads, but yeah, culturally, I'd say it's all about skin color.
My skin is darker than Lindsay's. That's part of what makes us different races.
People who have my skin color are usually called white, like I said before.
Yeah, but it depends who's talking, doesn't it? Are we gonna get into why racial slurs for white people are deemed okay? Or are we only trying to fuck up the kids a little bit this week?
And people of my skin color are usually called black.
Okay, so race is skin color and you're black or white.
Half right, Teddy. Though in some cases, referring to someone as black as we would to someone who is white is still considered offensive because some people can't make up their fucking minds.
Well, that's not really the whole story. There's a lot more to it than just skin color, and there are a lot more races than black and white.
Well then what was the last couple of minutes about? For fuck's sake, Lindsay, just stick to the gay shit, will you? Mess up kids' heads in the way you said you would. Stick to the fucking plan.
Race has to do with so much more than just skin color. It has to do with where your family comes from.
So you're giving credence to those dicks that say, I'm 1/80th Cherokee. If I have a single black ancestor, I can say whatever I want. Nice one. And is imposter Teddy okay? He looks like he's ODing. Is that a signal? Is he ready to be saved?
It's hard to say exactly where my family is from because a long time ago, black people were brought here to America without their consent.
Fucking hell, now you're touching on slavery! Fuck me! Do you ever think the kids are happy not knowing this shit? It's in the past, Kira. We'd all appreciate it if you left it there, yeah? I mean, fucking hell, the way some people use it as a crutch, you'd think it was the best thing that ever happened.
But I know they're from somewhere in Africa.
Hold on, you are very light-skinned, Kira. Are you telling me you don't have a single white person in your ancestry? Because I call bollocks. I mean, you're black, yeah, but you aren't African black.
What about your family, Lindsay?
So my family is white, and my great-great-great-great-grandparents all came from different parts of Europe to America.
Oh, you know, I would have put actual money on you being inbred.
Race has to do with where your family is originally from in the world and the history that comes along with that.
Well, in which case my ancestors are Australopithecus, and yours, and that would mean we're the same, so it depends how original you want to go, doesn't it? Don't go so far back that you no longer have any oppression points, that's the trick.
I wonder where I came from.
That's a great thing to talk about with your grown-ups.
Oh shit, nicely deflected, Lindsay. You know exactly where imposter Teddy came from because you kidnapped him, didn't you? And you know what happened to the original Teddy, but you won't say anything about that either. We'll find out, Lindsay. You haven't got away with that shit.
You should talk to your grown-ups about where your family came from and listen to the stories they have to tell about your family history.
And this is where a lot of kids find out they're adopted.
It's important to understand your family history, the history of your race, and of other people's races.
So you basically have to know everything, is what you're saying. Fucking hell, the pressure's on now, kids. Not only have you got to learn to read and write, but you're also expected to know all this bullshit too. No time to play with your toys, Timmy. Hit the fucking books.
Because that's where privilege comes in.
Oh, we're back to that, are we? Okay.
Because some races have been treated unfairly in the past and are still treated unfairly today.
You're right, Kira. With things like affirmative action and employment quotas, some people have more opportunity than others based solely on the colour of their skin, though that's not what you meant, was it?
Kira, we've talked a lot about how to be a good ally.
That's great. It's important to be a good ally to people of other races.
Just not white people, eh? Who would want to be allies with anyone at the bottom of the pecking order? Disgusting.
Especially if you're white, like Lindsay.
Yep. I try to be a good ally to people who are not white.
And that's where we get the term people of colour, kids. It's a way of demonising white people by basically meaning anyone but them.
People who are not white are usually called people of color.
Ah, there we go. Because race isn't as important as you were just saying. It's just more important to not be white.
Kira, I want to be a good ally.
You wanna slap whoever edited this video too? That was fucking terrible.
What's something you want us all to know about being a good ally?
Well, for me, Teddy, it would be stop fucking talking about race, as Morgan Freeman once said. And he's black, so he knows his shit, but he's also a straight male, so Kira has rank on him as a gay black woman. Hey, maybe we could make them fight to decide.
Oh, there are so many things, but one way to be a good ally to people of other races is to respect them.
So, skin colour demands respect, does it? That sounds eerily familiar.
That's one of the things you have to do to be a good ally.
Absolutely. So here's just one example. Something that's disrespectful to me is when people touch my hair.
Do people actually do that though? Like adults, you know? You just sat on the bus or something and someone reaches over and strokes your hair. Like, what you doing, you weirdo? Get off! I think that's less to do with race and more about them not understanding boundaries.
It's something that happens to me a lot, and it happens to a lot of other people of color because our hair looks different from white people's.
Oh, so when you say people, you mean white people. Right, of course. I've never heard of a white person touching a black person's hair outside of the episode of Family Guy when Cleveland lives with the Griffins for a little bit. And even then, Stewie asked him first. And if it's down to the different type of hair, why aren't black people trying to touch white people's hair? Unless you're implying black people have the characteristic of having more self-restraint, because that would be racist.
But it's disrespectful to touch my hair without my permission. Would you like it if somebody touched your without asking first, Teddy?
No, I don't.
Whoa, what the hell, Kira? That's not right, girl. Sort yourself out.
They shouldn't touch my fur without my consent. Right, Lindsay?
That's right, Teddy.
Oh, she said fur. Okay, well, thank fuck for that. Though now you're gonna have kids asking their toys for consent before they play with them. And what about this?
It's good to see you, Teddy.
Ah, Rose! Hi, Rose!
No permission given, and that's your sister, Lindsay. I mean, if you insist on spouting this bullshit, at least be consistent. Are we done? Is it over?
It's really disrespectful and hurtful when people touch my hair.
That doesn't sound like a very nice thing to do.
It's not.
Fuck me, that almost sounded like a real conversation. Fair play.
So one way you can be a good ally to black people like me is to treat me with
There are
respect.
so many ways to be a good ally to everyone.
Did Teddy just speak over her? You can't do that to a woman of colour, Teddy. Don't you know white people should shut up and listen when a black person talks? You fucking gangster.
You are so good at this, Teddy. I am so impressed.
Did she say impressed or oppressed? I mean, both are pretty likely.
Thank you, Kira. I've been learning so much.
And now you know just a little bit more.
What the fuck was that? Did I just listen to that again? Is that Satan himself speaking through Lindsay? Look at her. She's in some kind of trance. Fucking get the holy water.
Thanks so much for helping us out with this one, Kira.
Thank you.
Of course. You're very welcome. Bye.
Bye.
I don't want to alarm you, Lindsay, but it looks like Kira just stole your laptop.
I'm so glad I met Kira, Lindsay.
Me too.
Fucking terrible production, that. You'd think with the amount of people it takes to make this show, they would get it fucking right once in a while. Anyway, thus ends another episode of Queer Kid Stuff, which shows us you can still respect someone while talking over them. And of course, the lifelong lesson that even during the golden age of equality, some people will still play the race card. Thanks for watching, guys. Please consider becoming a patron so I can get a fake tan that isn't quite blackface. The link is in the description, and remember, what were your ancestors like? Mine were a bunch of cunts.
Oh man, we're just lovely.
I come from a long line of crooks.
I was raised by wolves.
The heads on Easter Island. That's how you lay a sound.